I was trying to look something up. I was trying to look something up real quick, so I apologize. I got found on the bottom.
I really don't understand why men are so sensitive to certain words or certain things, or
Oh
automatically
God, that
think
is out
that
of one.
people are talking like for real, and then to come back and just be so nasty and mean about it is like it's just mind-boggling
Well,
to me. And then they
why
think
do I
there's
always
something
miss
wrong
it?
with them. And then they think there's something
Why-
wrong with them. I'm perfectly fine being this way.
What did he say? What was said to him that was so horrible this morning?
I
Evidently.
don't know. Apparently, Harmony called him a bitch ass, but I don't. Nobody remembers hearing that.
She ain't calling him that,
Calling him no
but
bitch
he
ass.
is. But
Did
he
you call
is.
him a bitch
I
ass for
don't have a
being a bitch ass?
problem, but
But he
I
is.
don't have a problem, and I will admit if I did, and especially if you're demonstrating it, But I didn't say that. I just came in and said all men say the same thing. Why do all men say? And then when he started calling me, well, this trauma, whatever this trauma thing, he said that's when I said you limp dick nigga. That's what I call him, a
Oh,
limp dick.
oh, I didn't even hear
That's
that.
what I called him.
It might be
A
true.
wimp dip nigga. That's all I when he started that trauma shit. That's when I saw I cause I can. Why do all men keep saying that? I'm just talking in general. Why do men? They never consider what they are doing. He just said what he is. He said he's an alcoholic. You can hear it in his voice. He's a fucking alcoholic. And you to think that you don't do nothing. You did something.
So I want to ask you this, Charles. Because I know I do it a lot. When I say all men and all men this and all men that, I don't think you ever take offense to anything that we ever say on this panel when we talk about men. We talk about how men don't listen and men don't do this and men don't do that. I don't think you ever take it personal because you know
I
that's not what
don't,
you do.
because again, at the end of the day, you just said all. You don't say. You're not pointing me out directly.
Right.
So,
Exactly. That's exactly the whole point. Unless I'm talking directly to you and talking about your certain situation, it doesn't apply. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't apply to me. So it's not gonna phase me if a man says all women, do this. That,
Exactly.
it's not gonna apply to me. So it's not going unless it's like when I go to work, right? And we have meetings at work, and they'll say, you everybody needs to make sure you are clocked in at 8 o'clock. To me, it's like, well, that doesn't apply to me. Even though I might even be
Right.
clocking in 8:10, it still don't apply to me unless you are directly talking. Say, Adrian, you need to clock in at 8 o'clock. That shit goes in one ear and goes right out the fucking other. They ain't talking to me. I don't know who they talking to, but they ain't talking to me. Even though I might be guilty of it, you know what I mean. So somebody who sits there and takes offense by something that somebody says,
you
you
a
just
lot
telling
of
on yourself.
a lot of people, for some reason, I've noticed on this app, a lot of people want to have two statements. It's really interesting, right? When women are talking about what men have done to other women in their lives, right? Like if you talk about what your ex used to do in your life, right? And you say, I've seen so many men do such, right?
Right.
And they want to make sure to say, well, women do it too.
They stay saying that.
And
You
then
not
you have that man, and then you have the other man who says, "Oh, it's not me. I didn't do that." And you go,
Well,
exactly.
Charles,
"Okay,
Charles, would you
Get
like
it.
to know what started it all?
yes, absolutely. I would
It
love that."
was it was me. Adrian asked the question, "What do you
Why
fear?"
doesn't
I
that
said, "I
surprise
fear
you,
dating."
Mama Bernie?
All I said was, "I fear dating," and then the one went off.
That's true. That's how
What? I fear dating. Shit, what the hell is the? Hell, I do too.
But you know what, Eminem? None of us specifically pointed at a man. We just said you fear dating.
right.
You know what I'm saying? He don't know what you date.
Yep.
He don't know you date men, women, both, or animals, or what.
Nope, because I
He
didn't
just
say
went
that.
the hell off.
You might be a fan of the Donkey Show. You never know. That's true.
But do you
But
think it's because he wanted to date you, and that's the reason why he took offense of it?
no, he took offense to it because of the fact of the matter is his self-esteem is not strong enough and set up enough to be able to stand in the fact of being able to admit that most men, there's a hell of a lot of men out here that do stupid shit, and
Hey,
then guess
poetic.
what happens? It causes women to be in the fear of wanting to date because they're so psychotic. You see it at Adrian's Live all the time.
Well,
And
I mean,
Okay, psychotic.
how many men say that they're going to do something but they don't? It drives me up a wall. See, I'm one person. This is one thing that has been. It's a. I don't know if it's just ingrained in me for a reason or whatever, but for some reason I have this thing. If I cannot accomplish it, or if I don't know if I'm going to accomplish it, and it's not a guarantee that I can do it, I'm not going to promise it at all because I can't guarantee it. Right now, if I know that I'm going to meet you at 8 o'clock tomorrow night, I'm going to go ahead and do everything I can to meet you there at 8 o'clock tomorrow night, right? So, by gosh, I'm going to do that, right? I'm going to promise that or give my word for that. But I don't give my word unless I know I can accomplish it.
I'm the same way too. To me, it's integrity, and I'll give you a no, even if it's a maybe. I will still say no, and then if I happen to be able to do it, then I'll do it. But I'm gonna straight up just say no because I'd rather have the expectation. Like, so there's no, because if you tell somebody maybe, that means they still thinking that could be a yes, right? So do you think? And so to me, I honestly, I take it back to my kids, right? So like when I'm raising my kids, I'm not, because kids will sit there and if you tell them maybe, they will sit there and harass you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But it might be. But can I go? Can I go to the store? Maybe. But can I go to
They
the
will
store?
harass you till they get an answer. They ain't gonna take maybe.
And
If
then they
you
really
give them
don't
an
like
answer, they'll remind you. And when we gonna do that?
Yeah.
Are we
Yeah,
ready?
but I didn't say it. We was, but you said maybe.
But see, that's the thing, right? So, especially with kids, because they, in all actuality, they're so soft-hearted, right? Because they're not used to things that are, for us to be, for people that don't keep their word, right? We are used to it because we've seen a ton of it.
Right.
Kids are not. So, especially for my kids, if it's something I don't know if we're going to be able to do, like my kids want to go to Disney World or if they want to go to whatever, first off, I know that costs a lot of money, right? So I need to know that if I'm going to promise it, I know I'm going to have that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I'm not going to. I'm going to say, I'll tell you what, we'll talk about that at a little bit later date when I know better how my financial situation is or how we're doing as a family later on down the road or whatever that is or when we get closer to it. But I'll never promise it. And that's one thing that I've never wanted to do is wanted to be the one who broke promises. Because kids, especially to my kids, 'cause they take that shit hard.
Old kids take that hard. I mean, even to say we'll talk about it later, I would think it's still gonna be like, are we gonna go to Disney? And like, didn't I say we're gonna talk about it later? But later's 5 minutes from now, Dad.
That's true too. I've had that situation before, and then I have to correct myself and say, listen, I apologize, I misspoke. Let me make this more clear so you can understand more of where we're at. Because one thing I've always wanted to do also is teach my kids financial responsibility too at the same time. And that gives me a chance to do that when I talk about something that's that big, right? Because we're talking about something that can cost potentially thousands of dollars, huh?
It's expensive to go to Disney.
Yeah, right.
It's like $200 just to get in, $250 just to get in for one person.
And for me, for us who live clear ways away, we also have to deal with travel and lodging and all of that kind of stuff.
Right.
So that gives me that ability to be able to utilize that as a financial tool to educate them on financial responsibility as well. But again, and I'm kind of rambling. I such quick because I'm just barely having my coffee. But anyway, I apologize. But a lot of men. To go back to your point, though. If your self confidence is that bad that you can't handle a woman saying that she's in fear of dating, then you aren't willing to open your damn eyes and see the truth about the dating pools today. And you're probably part of the problem of the reason why.
Honestly, the fear of dating comes from seeing men like that.
Listen,
And he did not.
You don't
He
have
didn't
to
catch on. He didn't catch on to know that because that was the problem. See, men like him is what make me fear dating. Like I don't even want to be close to you. I don't even want to know you or even talk to you on the phone because I'm afraid of what you are. The person you've shown me, I don't even want to be around. So they don't understand what I'm saying when I say that. But I see you do, Charles.
Oh,
And look, we women don't have to have experienced a bad person, a bad man to know that they're what we witness. Like I don't have to. I've never said I've never experienced a bad man personally in my life. You know, like not. I'm talking about like my own experience. You know, they may have done some fucked up shit, but doesn't make them a bad person. You know what I mean? So I'm not traumatized or by anything, but I mean, I keep hearing the men say the same stuff. It's always the woman's fault. Meanwhile, you sitting up here talking about you an alcoholic without saying you an alcoholic. Come on now.
I mean, seriously though. I mean, if every woman that you've been with has a problem with you drinking, it might be a problem.
Like,
And honestly,
Yeah,
I
and
knew,
Harmony hit it on the nail when she said they think every woman is traumatized. No, because I'm like her. I've never dated badass men like some of these men I see on this app. So they really scare me. My ex-husband, the only reason I divorced him was because of the cheat. It wasn't because he mistreated me or treated me bad or, DV, nothing like that. It was only because of the cheating that I couldn't take. So and that don't make him a bad person, but he just
Exactly. I
need to
was
know
gonna
he don't
say
need to
that.
be in no relationship. You
right.
know what I'm saying? So me and him get along fine, separated, but together it wasn't gonna work. So I don't understand these other men and some of the crazy shit they be saying on this app. I be like, I can't believe a woman even be with you to experience that crazy mess. So that's what makes me fearful.
And me too. And me too. Because it's like, and because to me, it's just like, what makes me fearful is I can't say what I want to say because all of a sudden, and then you judging me because of it. All of a sudden now I have
Exactly.
trauma. And that's a fact, by the way. If a woman yells and curses, that means they deal with trauma. Which is like,
Weird. Like where you get
I don't know where
that
you
from?
got that from either. I'm like, really?
Who
Because
said
I'm like, you
that?
got to
She's
think
gonna
about
say
it.
it.
No, I
Fuck,
went to
Brittany,
that
how
in
are you?
college.
fuck.
He majored in the college. He majored that.
You know why? Know where he
Good
get it
morning,
from?
Brittany.
Because the women he treated fucked up was cussing and at him. He
Right.
wasn't cussing before, when it was in a honeymoon stage, it was okay. But then when he started overdosing on that drinking, yeah, you became a motherfucker, a bitch, and all that other good stuff. The hell?
Well, if you look at also this, and I'm just going to point out, Adrian, your life in TikTok and your life in history of this app. How many times have we watched men say and do things or say things that they would do and they never accomplish it?
I mean,
They don't do it. They don't show up. They don't fly in. They don't whatever. Like they'll come up with some of the craziest fucking stories to make themselves look so cool and so big,
cool.
just to impress you. To all of a sudden not show up and be fucking unimpressive.
They have
Really?
a fear.
I'm
Because
just
they have,
saying.
because they have
I'm a freaking.
Charles, because it's their fear of rejection. They have a fear of rejection. That
Well,
men,
okay. Yeah, but you're rejecting yourself when you don't even show up.
but that's the
So
whole
was
thing.
it?
Why? Because again, why are we playing the okey doke? It's like that guy. It's like the guy that I was talking about the other day, right? That guy that I met, that I slept with a couple of years ago. And
Yeah.
even though as many times as I told him, I'm not interested, I don't like you, I don't want to do this again, he would still keep on calling me to say like, but I want to see you. I'm like, but I don't want to see you. And my thing is, it's like, why would you want to? As many times as my saying no, I'm not interested. Why do you keep on trying? And so sometimes it's like, you can't possibly not like me. It's that ego, that rejection that be hitting people hard. So it's the fear of rejection that kind of gets people to be a certain type of way, or like on this dating app, they'll tell me, they'll send me a picture of themselves. Here's my picture. Why do I need to see a picture of you? Why do you need that validation first before we go out on a date? They want to make sure it's a sure thing first before. And let me put you on a little bit of tea, right? So Millions of Wine, the Mama Money. Remember I was telling you I was going to get him, right? I told you I was going to get him because we saw him on Diamond Show, right? And he was talking all this big Hollywood shit about being a single man and I was trolling on Diamond's on the comments. I said, my mama, he gonna be my next victim, right? So I was on a live. I was on one of my lunch lives. He was on my lunch live. He told me that he lived in Orlando. I thought he lived in Orlando, right? So I said, oh yeah, you in Orlando? Hit me up so we could go out on a date, right? He gives me his number. I give him my number. He calls me right away. In our conversation, we were talking. I found out that he doesn't live in Orlando. He just happened to be in Orlando. That he's a trucker. And I was just like, oh shit! If I would have known, I would have never given you my number, because I'm not giving my number out to people that are not in my town. I'm not sitting here again, boo loving you on the fucking phone. In our conversation, all he was doing was talking about how he likes to eat. He likes to eat. He likes to eat. He likes to eat. So he was talking about how he likes to eat. So that conversation was boring to me. My mother was calling me, and I was like, yo, I gotta go, and that was it. I'm like, I'm not interested, right? I'm not interested, one, because you don't live in my. And I kept on telling him, okay, whenever you're in Orlando, you hit me up. And he wanted to set up a plan. He wanted to say, okay, well, I could take a couple of days. I don't want to hear a plan. I don't want to make a plan. I don't want to have a conversation about it. He wanted to make sure that it was a sure thing first. And he needed that validation that, yeah, I'm going to make a plan to come to Orlando like I see you. My whole thing is like, if you happen to be in Orlando, then you can hit me up. And then, or Florida, you can hit me up. Why do you need that validation of a sure thing? So I knew, okay, I was playing with him. I was playing with him. And it worked.
I just like the helicopter boy. He was hilarious. Let's see, a few other ones. I
knew what kind of creature he was when he came up here, and I was just waiting for him to snap, like always. I was waiting for him to snap. But my whole thing is, people have a fear of rejection. I have a fear of rejection too, right? But it's not gonna stop me from still trying. It's not gonna stop me. I just recognize the red flags, and I'll just be like, and from the beginning, I'm not gonna sit here and keep on trying and keep on trying and keep on trying. So that's what we were talking about today. Anybody that just came in, we were talking about what do we fear and how what causes our fear. So these are great examples. We were talking about fear of bridges, fear of water, fear of heights, fear of being in relationships, or fear of dating, actually. Empress, what do you have a fear of? You had a long time to think about this because we were going on for a while.
My fears are very realistic, reality based. So I have a fear of a full sharps box.
What?
When you go to get